Hey y'all, it's Alex from You Should Craft, and today I'll show you how to crochet this striped baby blanket. It uses the linked double crochet stitch and a number 6 super bulky chenille yarn. Before we get started, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the You Should Craft channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a free crochet pattern or tutorial on my channel. Anyway, this blanket is about 30 inches by like 31 inches. It's for babies, but you could easily readjust for a larger size. For the baby blanket size, you'll need 2 wheels of this O'Go yarn. It's Bernat Blanket yarn. It comes with 3 colors on 1 wheel, which is what I used. But 2 balls of this is about 440 yards, so you could also just sub out for regular Bernat blanket yarn or your favorite super bulky chenille yarn. You'll also need an 8mm crochet hook and then standard notions like scissors and a wide-eye tapestry needle that can fit this super bulky yarn. So, alright, let's go ahead and get started. So the O'Go yarn comes and it's in a wheel held together by this little, I don't know, zip tie guy. So the first thing you need to do is trim that. Some people take the yarn off of the wheel. I find it's easier to just leave it on, but it's totally personal preference. And I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, but the color that I used is called Atlantic. So it has 3 colors of blue, kind of a navy, like a teal, greenish blue, and this lighter blue. So anyway, we're just going to make our starting chain. So do a slip knot, and then insert your hook. For the baby blanket size, I'm going to chain 60. I'll put other sizes on my blog though, in case you want to make a blanket that's bigger or smaller than this one. So anyway, chain 60 plus 3. All right, here is 60 and then plus 3. And that plus 3 is for setting up our first link double crochet stitch. So I am realizing now that this navy yarn might be a little bit difficult to see, so I'm hoping it's not too bad. And let me get out a tapestry needle so that I can kind of point out what we're looking at. So I like to crochet into the back bumps, which is the back of the chain. So here we have the V's, and that's the front of the chain or the top. And then the back has these little bumps on it, these ridges right here. So we want to find the second bump from our hook, the second chain, so right here. And I'm going to insert my hook into that second back bump and pull up a loop. So yarn over and pull through. And then now I want the 4th bump from my hook. So here's number 3 and here's number 4. And I'm going to insert my hook into that bump. I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And now I have 3 loops on my hook, which will let me just finish off this stitch as I would a normal double crochet. So yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And that is your very first linked double crochet. So the first one is the hardest. For future stitches, we're looking for the crossbar on the double crochets. So this right here, insert your hook into that crossbar, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then insert your hook into the next chain. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and again you've got 3 loops on your hook. And now we can finish this off like a double crochet. So I'm yarning over and pulling through 2 loops, yarning over and pulling through 2 loops, and I've got my second linked double crochet. So you're just going to link double crochet all the way down your chain, which will give you 60 linked double crochet stitches per row. We're going to do 5 rows of each color for this crochet baby blanket. So you're going to end up doing a lot of like off-camera stitch work, otherwise this video would be pretty long. I mean, since we're using this super bulky baby blanket yarn, it's not going to take as long as it would if we used a smaller yarn, but it'll still take a few hours to make a baby blanket, which is why I'm not going to show you every single stitch that I crochet. So just keep linked double crocheting down the row. Again, you'll have 60. I will catch back up with you at the end of this row just to show you how to get started for row 2. It's very similar to how we started with our starting chain. And then I'll just kind of check back in for the first few color changes just to show you what I'm up to. But all right, finish off row 1 and I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so here is my last linked double crochet from row 1 of my baby blanket. Now for row 2, I'm going to chain 3. And I will pull up a loop in the second chain from my hook. So I like to use the back bumps again. So here's the first back bump on my chain. Here is the second back bump on my chain. And that's where I'll insert my hook. So just like when we did our first linked double crochet on our starting chain. So yarn over it and pull up a loop, and then turn your work, and you'll insert your hook into the top of the last stitch from row 1, and you'll yarn over and pull up a loop, and then now we've got those 3 loops on our hook, so we're ready to start just the regular double crochet part. And from there you'll just link double crochet across. Again, you should have 60 stitches in your row. And you'll do 5 rows of this color. So 5 rows in your first stripe color. For me, it's this navy color. And then I'll catch back up to you when we add our second color, which for me on the Atlantic O'Go is this kind of teal blue color. So, all right, go ahead and continue to link double crochet until you've finished 5 rows of your first stripe color on your baby blanket. So now I'm on my very last stitch. So I'll go through those first 2 loops for the first half of my linked double crochet. But now I'm going to stop. I'm almost out of yarn, but if you still have a bit left, you can trim it off, leaving like a 6 to 8 inch tail so you can weave in your ends. And you'll join your last, or not last color, but your next color by just yarning over and finishing off this stitch. So just like how we trimmed a 6 to 8 inch piece, we want to make sure that we leave a 6 to 8 inch piece again for weaving in our ends. But then you just wrap it over, pull it through, and now you've finished your whole section with your first color. So I've got all 5 of my rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I can turn my work and begin my next row using this new color. And you'll just do this row the same as you would before, and you'll do 5 rows just like with the first color. So I'm wrapping up the last couple stitches in my 5th row of my 3rd and final color. So just like when the previous color changes, I'm going to stop here where I only have like half of a stitch. If you have any extra yarn, be sure to trim it off and leave like a 6 to 8 inch tail to weave in your ends. And then I've got just one more color left on my O'Go, I don't even know, skein ball like tube thing. So I'm going to join that final color. And so I will just yarn over with this last color. And then I can do my chain. And turn my work. So just like before, I will pull up a loop in the second chain from my hook and then pull up a loop in the top of the first stitch or the last stitch from the previous row, and then finish off that linked double crochet from my baby blanket. Oops. And then I'll just keep linked double crocheting for 5 rows of this color. So you'll just keep adding rows until it's long enough. For me personally, I use 2 balls of the O'Go yarn for my whole blanket. So this 3-stripe pattern repeated twice. So there were just 6 total stripes in my baby blanket, which for me was the perfect size since again it's for a baby. But you could definitely use more balls of yarn and a longer starting chain or more row repeats if you wanted like a bigger blanket, if you were making one for an adult or like a lap blanket. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial for the linked double crochet baby blanket. Make sure that you subscribe to the You Should Craft channel and check out the You Should Craft blog for more free crochet patterns and tutorials.